Oop wants to reconnect with the son he abandoned. I am not Oop. Oop is you, Raul JPD. But his account has been suspended. He originally posted in our parenting. Trigger warnings. Child abandonment. Less than. Mood. Mostly positive. Less than. Original post. May 2nd, 2017. I guess I'll just start right in with the story. In 1992, my then on and off girlfriend got pregnant and had our first son. At the time, I was working for a landscaping company making pennies and was in no way emotionally or financially ready for a child. I wasn't mature enough for that yet. I let my cowardice get the better of me. I accept full responsibility for my actions. Rather than being a man and taking care of my son, I fled. I left St. Louis for Colorado. I had a friend who had set up a job for me and I went after it, completely leaving my son and his mother alone. Life went on and I did my best to forget about them. I would tell myself that I'll go back when I'm ready. But I never really made plans to do it. As time went by, I met someone, got married, started a business and started a family. I had 4 kids. The oldest currently 19 and the youngest 7. I was able to provide a very good life for my family, and late last year, around my oldest son's birthday, I finally faced the fact that I had completely abandoned him and didn't even know if he was alive. At this point, I left him and his mother poor and living in a bad area. It's likely he could have been in jail or dead. I decided to confess this to my wife and my children. It was a very rough week I put on my wife. When we finally told my kids, they were rightfully furious and demanded that I find their brother and let him know he has a family. I ended up being able to get in contact with his mother. After a long conversation, she hung up on me and then days later called and told me how hard it was for my son to grow up without his father and how much he suffered. All the nights he cried, the teams he quit, the fights he got into, the identity crisis he went through. She told me everything. And at the end she told me that I could come because she thought he would want to meet me. She also told me about the man he became without me. He's a medical student on scholarship at Washington University and he volunteers for Big Brothers Big Sisters. He's become one hell of a young man. No thanks at all to me. I took my wife and I flew out to see him. Our first meeting went roughly since I said the wrong thing to him. I foolishly told him I was proud of him and he took exception to that. Rightfully so. After he cooled down, we sat together and had lunch. We had a great conversation. We laughed and bonded a little. I told him about his siblings and he tensed up. He said he wasn't anywhere near ready to talk about them. I don't blame him. They grew up in a situation he dreamed about and he grew up in hell. He said that he wants to get to know me and eventually his siblings, but that it has to be slow and certainly not during while he's busy with school. He said he has some time in the summer and that he'd fly out to Colorado and we could do some outdoorsy things together. My question is, how do you think this is best approached? What would you tell me to keep in mind while spending time with him? What should my mindset be going in? Edit to add some context. He's also understandably distant. For example, when he said he'd fly out and I offered to cover it, he just shook his head. Said, "Nope. You don't owe me anything." He refers to his siblings as your kids, which I get since he has no connection to them. Update post. May 23, 2017. He allowed me to fly him out to Colorado for a few days to spend some time with his siblings who were all dying to meet him. It went really well. His siblings already adore him. He's all they can talk about. He instantly, naturally went from stranger to big brother. It's really remarkable how seamlessly he embraced that role. He spent the time he was here mainly with them. I gave him a car to drive them all around and they had a blast. My baby girl cried when he left. My oldest was obsessed. She said at one point, We've got 19 years of selfies to catch up on. It was really nice to see them together like that. He went back to St. Louis for clinicals. He said, but they all exchanged numbers and social media info and they're staying connected. A couple of memories that stand out to me were watching him play wrestle with his brothers and talking to my oldest daughter about what it's like to be in med school. She's trying to figure out what she wants to do, and having him there as an experienced voice is just so heartwarming. Of course, there is a struggle. My sons and my oldest daughter outright told me they respect me less as a father and a man. That was and is a tough pill to swallow, but I understand it. Wife has asked for counseling because of my deception and because she never thought I could be capable of something like this. But at least my son is at least slightly happy with his siblings. That's all for now. Marking this as concluded, since OOP's account is suspended and his son has met his siblings. What really pisses me off, that once he was in the financial position to do so, he never sent money. That boy is a much better, much more forgiving person than I would have been in that situation. It's so sweet how the sibling react. I hope that they lift each other up. I'm so sad and happy for his oldest son at the same time. Our has so much to learn from his kids. And props to the mom. She raised him all alone and seems like didn't make a scene when he wanted to see his son after years. She just did what she thought it's best. What a woman. He owes his son's mother hundreds of thousands in backdated child support. Frankly, until he paid, I wouldn't even begin to forgive him. Hiding a child is straight up divorce material right there. Not word one about the back child support he owes the son's mother. I'm still not a big fan of OOP, but it seems like the kids all turned out pretty goddamn well if they've handled this situation as well as they have. The son especially. Big props to his mom. This is absolutely the first time I have ever seen someone write out St. Louis as St. Louis. As a person with an absent father, the son is so much nicer than I would have been, lol. Only time I want to hear from that sob is on his deathbed so I can spit in his face. Abandoned child here. OOP is still going to hell, and I hope he rots there. What an absolute garbage person. I kind of hate OOP. And I hope there are more consequences of his actions waiting for him. What an ass. He owes his ex-GF 18 years of back child support. He gets nothing but disrespect till he's done that. So let me get this straight. In less than 5 years he was ready financially and emotionally to settle down and make a family. Year 6 doesn't count as it includes the pregnancy and birth of the 19-year. Meaning he could provide for his then 4-year son and he choose not to just because? Doesn't seem he was that guilty after all. That's next level of garbage. Yeah, I didn't read about falling all over himself to apologize to the mother or so. Or paying what's owed and more. I give this man no props. What a bad dude. Glad things are going well for everyone else though. Although we get no info on how the mother did all these years. As his wife I wouldn't be able to move past that. Instant divorce. He needs to pay the mother of his child for all the years she struggled. I feel like a third update would be like, my son is still keeping me at arm's length UGHHH. Every time someone tells this guy off or gets mad at him he just glosses over it with an understandably so, or rightfully angry, or what have you. But he never really expands on having apologized or talks about trying to make it up to the mother. Financially, he offered to buy the kid a plane ticket. But that's peanuts compared to what he skipped out on in raising the kid. Plus, it was so his son could meet his family. Selfishly motivated. IDK. I just feel like this guy is the type to say all the right stuff and then get annoyed when he's not immediately forgiven. He still sucks.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.